All right, so with our super brilliant Mr. B, ready, Bernie? I want to do a little bit with some play and then practicing kind of grabbing and letting go and kind of working through that on-off switch. Look at this awesome man just going right into a little sit for me. So smart. So when practicing, I'm going to try, I think we'll maybe try the lower value toy first. So what I mean by that is for some babes, certain flirt pole attachments can be more or less intriguing. So if we get some jump in, I'm just going to ignore. I'm going to be try for a little sit. And then I might tell him, are you ready? Which normally means, again, we're about to play, and then go get it. So he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think? He's like, I actually was here just for the cheese. If, again, he doesn't seem that one's not quite as intriguing. He's done some play with the flirt pole, but not as much as some of the other friends. So I want to see now with this one, oh, what do you think? If he's more of a fuzzy kind of flirt pole attachment versus the original that came with that brand. And he may not go into play today. There are some puppies that if they've never seen a flirt pole, like Mr. B and our little Miss J and even our other lovely Miss S, they're all about the flirt pole. There can be moments too where your babe might do better with playing in one venue versus another. He might be more of a foodie right now where he prefers his goodies. And then others are all about the toys. So you'll have to figure out what motivates him. Two, if he's never seen a flirt pole before, you may find that he might actually be a little bit unsure about it. So we're not going to rush it. So if ever trying something novel with your puppy and you thought for sure, oh my gosh, they're going to love this, and maybe they don't quite know what to do, don't force it. So maybe he's not a huge flirt pole fan quite yet because he's never tried it. He's like, someone else was playing with that? Disgusting. So we might try, because I know the other beauties love it, maybe a little bit with a handheld tuggy is a little bit less intimidating. So for some puppies, having a toy attached to, like, let's say something new like a pole could be enough to throw them off. So some puppies prefer to play with handheld toys with you because then it's a little bit less intimidating if they've never seen that type of item. So you can see with Mr. B, he's maybe going for this toy a little bit more readily. And you may find that when you're starting with play, you might have to build up. But notice the body language change. So I know we were discussing comfort range versus not so comfortable. This is your puppy showing that he's a little bit unsure. His tail is lowered. His ears are a little bit more pinned. His kind of little back end is a little slinky, ready to back away if this was a little too spooky. So when we include something new, if my puppy doesn't quite know how to rock it, I'm just going to gauge it and make sure he's part of the process. So if he maybe is never done some of this type of play, it's also a toy that other friends have used. Some of the dogs prefer toys that are just only theirs versus the community toys, because sometimes those different new odors is enough to throw some of them off. So if he is not a huge fan of some of these tuggies, I'm going to try one more, but then we're going to give him a little period to recoup and do some other skills instead. What do you think, Mr. B? You want to try this guy? So for some puppies, they're more ball driven or tuggies or, again, different items. So we're just going to see if I can get him to kind of be a little bit more intrigued by this guy. Oh, what a good boy. That's so nice. Oh, you're so smart. You're so smart. So I do recommend use also your voice at times. If your puppy loves it when you tell them they're just the most brilliant thing you've ever seen, that can be another great way to build behavior. So a lot of times we're either silent at times or we're spewing all the time, but none of it has much value to your puppy. So I'm glad we were able to see with Mr. B sort of the beginning stages of feeling a little bit unsure to now being able to build in a skill that's looking much more comfortable. So you'll see with Mr. B, I don't lift it up too high. So even though like my arm is like the flirt pole itself, I'm not lifting the toy up so high where he would be jumping and then landing funny. So tugging is another great play way with your pups. If again, you're dealing with resource guarding, like we discussed a little bit earlier in some of the first few videos with Miss J, is for some dogs, they even have struggle sometimes playing because the resources themselves become like something they guard. So do reach out if you're really struggling with resource guarding because, we don't want it to go in the wrong direction and potentially, again, have things get bigger. So right now, Mr. Handsome Pants over here, Mr. B, is doing a really nice job playing tug. And let's say he's got the toy and I want him to let go so we can play again or practice dropping and taking items. I might go right here, have a little snack on me, go ready, drop, and then feed him for the let go. Then I might say, are you ready? He's like, yes, I would love to. So let's say we get really excited. I don't mind if puppies are standing or sitting, whatever works, but we might have him hold back for a second and then go get it. So we can have him make sure he's not pummeling you to kind of go and grab the toy. I don't want him to, when he gets jazzed, is to come bombard you and then maybe knock you down or leap for your clothing by accident and get you. Because sometimes with this over-arousal with teenagers or even into adulthood, some puppies then go for the wrong thing while they're sort of turning into land sharks. Nice job. So again, my toy is alive when I want him to play. When I want him to let go, I'm going to stop wiggling. Oh, he says, hold up, that could have been a crumb. And then I'm going to feed him for while his mouth is no longer on the toy. We might go, you ready? Get a little sit. So good. Ready? Go get it. And now my toy might come alive. Do you want to play? He's like, no, I'm already so winded. He says, I really like food better. So like I mentioned earlier, you might have moments where play is for a few little moments and then he takes a break. What do you think? He's like, yeah, back to the food, lady. So, but rotation through different types of items for reinforcement could be very helpful. So ready? We'll do another little find it. Nice. Bernie, come. Yes. So, but you saw how his body language in the beginning was a little bit more unsure, and then it changed to, okay, I can do this and I'm not too overwhelmed by it. So some folks will say that stress is good for learning to build confidence. I think stress is a very normal part of life, but how much and to what level is also important. If we are so stressed that our health, mental or physical, is not doing so well, or the stress is causing, I guess, stress responses or reactivity or shutting down, then I don't think that's like a very healthy stress. We want it to be where, yes, something new could be a little challenging. We want them to try to work out the puzzle. But if the dog is really having a challenging moment, I don't want them to just melt or fail at that scenario. So right here, we're doing just a little bit with some loose leash walking. Yes, nice job, sir. And this again, left or right, whichever one feels comfortable for you guys. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and we'll work a little bit with some weights just for a moment. Ready? So we'll get a little sit. If you guys haven't done much with weights or stays, don't worry. I know I did send along some of those informational documents and goodies to you guys because you were new to the program. So I'm going to tell them to wait, have them hold back for a second or two, and then again, ready? Bernie, come. So for the wait behavior, that's where they're waiting until you call them forward. So if you've been using your word come when called, so recall word is come versus here, feel free to just let me know. I know with Mr. B and Miss J, theirs is here versus come. So I might go ahead and reset him up one more time. We'll get a little sit, tell him to wait. If taking a step back, notice how he moved forward. If it's hard to add steps back without your puppy moving with you, what I'd recommend is reset them up. He's like, lady, I'm starving. I'm going to tell him to wait. If taking a step back was really hard, I'm going to take a step to the side and then Bernie come and then try it from there. So I know we've discussed last week a little bit with the 3 Ds of training. So there's your distances, your distraction level, and your duration that you might be rotating through. In the beginning, when working with some weights or any skill, sit. Yes, I'm going to feed him for just that beautiful sit. We might throw in the beginning, short and sweet. So if let's say me adding movement is too hard, you could set up your boy or girl in a sit, tell them to wait, have them be right in front of you, and then from here, Bernie, come, and bring them into your space that way. If they were doing really well, you could start adding more distance or bigger distractions. He's like, lady, I'm starving. If we're getting some jumping, he's getting tired. So right here, wait. So if he wiggles, again, I'm going to see if he can hold it for just another second there. Typically, I'd bring him back. So notice how, again, he's getting more flustered. So if my puppy is really having a challenging moment, I could start again, wait, and then if he's having a moment, see if you can keep it a little shorter. So I was trying to talk while also explaining. So if your babe is doing a lot of jumping, get them into their position, tell them to wait, and then Bernie, come. So that way it's much shorter. So do a shorter interval where it's more successful than a big one if they keep failing. The other option though is, let's say he's getting a little bit burnt out and having him be stationary keeps equaling him jumping. The other option is send him away with a find it and then go, Bernie, come, and work the recall, but from a movement moment. So again, find it, and then Bernie, come. So this way you could help expend a little bit of energy and then practice still that recall, Bernie, come, into your space. So after you do a few of those reps and he's not too fatigued, he's probably just getting really tired, which makes sense. But let's say then I could try again for my sit, tell him to wait, see if I can add a little, and then Bernie, come. So that way I'm avoiding that jumping again. But remember, jumping could be the byproduct of your puppy saying, I'm getting really tired. I don't quite understand. I maybe need a break, whatever it might be, or the environment's getting too challenging. So if you're having moments where your babe is not doing super hot, think, what could I do instead? Or have I been maybe working my puppy too long? And maybe do they need a little mental or physical break? Two, if they're getting very jumpy and mouthy, it normally means they're getting really tired. So definitely a nap, make sure they've obviously had their chance to empty, and then give them a little rest period. Good job, sir. But we'll probably call it a day for Mr. B and rotate through our friends. But he really did a gorgeous job again today. All of the babes are doing a really nice job. Sit. He's like, did you throw it? So if I lose him, sit. Yeah, good job. He was just a little unsure if I was doing a find it. So there we go. But we'll give Mr. B a break and we'll rotate through these beautiful babes again.